Welcome to part 3. I'm Diana from Divine Fractal. This is Telepathy 101, a primer for the gift of infinite voice by Teeny, Sue Walker, and the Rev.White Otter. Getting pinged and telepathic protocols. How do you know if you're being telepathically pinged? If your ping is coming from a telepathic beginner, another Earth human, it may be weak and not come in as clearly. Over the years, we've noticed these weaker human pings seem to have several things in common. Often a sudden background thought of someone springs into your mind behind your foreground thoughts. They seem to come to mind for no reason. Guess again. You may experience one of the physical body responses we talked about previously. You may find yourself suddenly wanting to hush the noise around you as if you need to listen again for something you thought you started to hear. You might even instinctively raise your hand as if to hush the noise around you. You may recognize that suddenly you feel as if you've just had a friendly greeting and someone or something else feels present, a feeling like, did someone just call my name or say hello? Physically, you might have to pop your head up response. You may find yourself suddenly turning your entire body around to look and listen. The body reacts first. The telepathic ping may or may not come with a direction and a distance sense or other information about the sender. You may have a sudden instinct to contact another person out of the blue, or you may not be able to get another person out of your mind. This can also involve events instead of specific people, and feels like that proverbial tremor in the force wave of feelings. How is an Earth human ping different from a telepathic nation ping? If your first telepathic experience comes from a nation whose primary means of communication is telepathy, you will have no doubt whatsoever someone is talking to you. A clear telepathic information stream suddenly will pop inside your head that didn't come from you. There will be no question in your mind. You will know you are being spoken to. You may, in the beginning, not know who the sender is. They may not allow you to see them immediately. Your telepathic ping may or may not come with a direction and or distance sense or a name. Not all telepathic individuals will provide their identity or their location until they trust you more. We were taught and recommend you approach telepathic conversations with folks from the telepathic nations with politeness and respect. If their telepathy is that clear, the likelihood you are dealing with a nation more ancient and more advanced than your own is very high. You best act right-minded toward them. In public, telepathic cultures tend to be very polite with societal rules which are strictly adhered to when they work in groups or are task-oriented. In private, good friends let down their guard and converse in a more relaxed manner, just like you might when you hang out with your own friends. But, like Earth human cultures, telepathic societies are all unique and different. We recommend asking about their rules and learning their cultural norms. In other words, it's good to ask if it's all right to discuss a certain subject and how to talk about it. Make an effort to study and learn their customs. When you first approach a member of a nation who utilizes telepathy as their primary means of communication, act and think like you would if you were going to your grandmother's house. When you visit your respected elder, you know you need to be on your best behavior, use your manners, honor them, and respect their home and their things. This is part of right-minded behavior. Your actions will be telepathically observed and judged. Remember to be aware of and control your thoughts. When you're in their space, you will be telepathically pinged and probed. Count on it. Telepathic protocol. Initiating your own first contact with a telepathic nation. Begin all dialogues by first introducing yourself. State what you wish to be called. Keep it simple. They will telepathically glean more about exactly who you are and your background if they really want to know. Be extremely respectful in your thought choice, as if your grandmother were listening inside your head. This is not as easy as it sounds, and it takes practice. State your intent respectfully, simply, clearly, and honestly in a single sentence. If you attempt to skip this step, your chances of contact are greatly reduced. Why are you here? Remember, telepathic nations do not just get in your head and hear your thoughts. It's not your brain they're connecting to as much as your intent and your heart self. You'll have to be able to answer for your actions as well as your thoughts. They want to know why you're thinking the way you are and asking them questions. Remember, once a telepathic connection is made, do not stop it to conduct a left brain logical analysis of the conversation while you're in right brain receiving mode. You may lose the connection and not be able to get it back. Get out of your logical, I have to figure this out now head, and listen with your heart head combination. You'll have time to tweeze your entire experience apart later. Once you're telepathically connected, stay that way until the conversation is done. That's not only polite, but it's crucial if you don't want to interrupt the established contact with your senders, and you want to get to the end of the conversation. Even if you notice yourself and are polite and respectful, there's no guarantee that any telepathic question you put out there will be answered by the individual you expect. They can, and sometimes do, treat you as if the subject is none your business. Pay attention to what they do as well as what they don't respond to. Once your communication has come to an end, please be sure to thank the individual who spoke and shared with you and bid them a pleasant goodbye. If you wish for future connections and chats with them, tell them so. Until next time. Telepathic steps, short summary. Introduction, intentions, respect, dialogue, thanks. Here's a general example of first telepathic conversation protocols employed. Hello, my name is, and I traveled here just to talk to you telepathically. Introduce yourself. I am here because I want to get to know you and your people better. Clear, honest intent. Telepathy is new to me, but I'd like to learn it properly. Desire to learn. Forgive me if I make a mistake. Humble. May I tell you a little about me and ask a few questions as well? Polite inquiry. Thank you for sharing with me. Polite goodbye. After you've worked with an individual several times, these protocols become more relaxed and less formal for some of the telepathic nations, such as the Big Brother Sasquatch and the Punti. We need to say a little about telepathic overwhelm. Just expect it. About 98% of Earth humans will be emotionally and physically overwhelmed after their first big telepathic encounter. After you've had a big telepathic encounter and or you've maintained a connection for a longer period of time than usual, at some point a feeling of being overwhelmed will hit you like a ton of bricks. When you yourself personally begin to realize the enormity of the telepathic and multidimensional world around you, and what you've been missing, and that you didn't even know existed, and what you've plugged into now and how big it really is, you will be overwhelmed. Grab the box of Kleenex, call your telepathic buddy, and talk. Yes, it's a lot to connect with and comprehend physically, emotionally, and spiritually. We know. You survived it up till now, didn't you? But even though a year from now you will have developed a much stronger telepathic skill set than you have currently, there will still be days that are telepathically exhausting. You don't have to be telepathically take on everything all at once. Focus on one thing at a time. This is the journey of 1,000 steps and more. For today, stop, breathe, steady yourself, and take just this one step. The universe really won't give you more than you can handle. We want you to let your emotions surface. Don't stuff them. You have to practice emotional honesty, and here's your chance. Let it out, get it out, process it, and grow. Remember, telepathy runs on an emotional carrier wave. You can't expect to truly emotionally understand another person if you don't understand yourself first. Even as the overwhelm hits you, please do not let go of your powers of detailed observation and discernment. Just because it's a lot doesn't mean you ignore your innate ability to know what is true and what is not. Keep your wits about you. Observe everything you can in the moment. If you need help shaking the emotional, overwhelming after effects, go physically do something productive, normal, and boring, like the laundry. We're not kidding here. Honest, doing a normal everyday activity, no-brainer kind of physical task will help ground you. We also recommend hot showers or soaking in hot water. Relax physically, emotionally, and spiritually in whatever way works best for you. Remember, you're taking your baby steps in a completely new landscape where everything and everyone is connected to everywhere and everywhen. It's going to take time to understand this new normal. Breathe, relax, and take it at your own speed. You're not being injured. You're learning this big new thing, and sometimes your brain just needs a day or two on tilt. Then it starts operating more normally again. One of the analogies we use to describe this whole process goes something like this. Keep absorbing and learning as long as you can until your brain feels a little like semi-solid jello. Then go to bed and know that during sleep it will start to set. By the time you wake up, you'll feel mostly back to normal, but with something more. But what if it wasn't normal to begin with? Knowing, too, that you won't be able to talk about this topic of telepathic training with everybody. Many will not understand. Our experience is that building a personal support network is critical to the speed of your learning. At the very minimum, seek a telepathic buddy to talk with about your odd experiences, as well as your honest emotions. Talk to each other regularly and develop trust. Don't try to process this telepathic journey all by yourself. It'll slow you down. Go find your tribe. Your decision to improve your telepathy can quickly become a much bigger thing in your life than you ever knew it would. Having another person who will understand when you call them up and say, "I had this weird thing happen. You got a second to talk?" will help keep you in greater balance. Trust us, you have no idea yet where this may take you, and we strongly suggest you go find your people. Without trying to make this sound overly dramatic, your decision to work on your telepathy every day will change you more than anything else you've ever chosen to learn ever. Practice walking gently with a foot in each world, and telepathically wear your day like a loose garment. You still have everyday things you need to take care of. You still have to your practical everyday lives. You still have to pay bills. You still have laundry to do, food to eat. That's one world. You then are anchored in the physical world you know. Put your other foot in the unseen world, where everything and everyone is telepathically interconnected. Now walk one foot in the physical world and one in the unseen world. It'll take practice doing this for longer and longer periods of time before you can comfortably keep everything in balance. That unseen world is new and different landscape for you, and it's going to take time, trial and error, with feedback for you to even start to create an accurate experiential map of it. We are telling you that if you do make the time, at some point, it'll change the way you think about and understand everything you know. Start your journal today. Make a minimum of 1 entry every day. At the end of 100 days and 1,000 days, return to your personal entries and assess your experiences for what worked and what didn't. Okay, we've given you the basic groundwork to get started with your telepathic training. Let's go over things one last time in summary. 1. Make improving your telepathic skills a high priority. Build on what's worked for you in the past regarding all your different multisensory perceptions. Begin immediately to keep a journal of telepathic experiences, dreams, and unusual happenings. 2. Working with your natural alpha rhythms will provide you with even more daily opportunities to practice proactive receptivity. Practice your telepathy every day for a minimum of 30 minutes. Working up to walking it 24/7, 365. 3. Listen to your random background thoughts and treat them as important as working with your foreground thoughts. 4. Get away from everything electronic for 30 to 60 minutes every day. 5. Don't run on adrenaline. It reduces receptivity. 6. Oxygenate your brain. 7. Thankfulness, happiness, joyfulness, playfulness will all change your brain chemistry enough to increase your learning speed by 10%. 8. For beginners, telepathic voices can go from sounding like your own inner voice to being utterly unique. Patience. Give it a month of daily practice. 9. Approaching telepathic nations right-mindedly improves your chances of positive interactions. Address a specific person or group if you wish to dialogue with them only. 10. Telepathic protocol. Be polite. Introduce yourself. Be honest with your intent and your words. Don't forget thank you and a polite goodbye. Expect telepathic overwhelm. You're probably not going to be able to avoid it. Learning to trust your telepathy and walking connected 24/7, 365 will change your life. To learn more about your teachers from Pontel, go to @SandiaWisdom on Twitter or visit their website, officialfirstcontact.com. If you wish, you can find out more about Sue at SueWalker.com. Our deep thanks to Teeny for dictating this course to us. We hope you have enjoyed this presentation and will apply it to your learning. We leave you with our phrase of parting goodbyes. Wear your day with ease. By Teeny. Thank you. This is Diana from Divine Fractal.